Hey, you guys. So I wanted to have a conversation about the Senate run in Texas. So we know that there's two senators in Texas, of course, Ted Cruz, but Ted Cruz is not up for reelection until 2031. And then we have John Cornyn, who is coming up for reelection very soon. John Cornyn has been in office. He's basically been serving Texas or representing Texas. I don't think he's doing much of serving Texas, but he's been representing Texas since 2002. For 23 years, this man has been serving Texas, and there's still a lot of issues. And so I believe Texas needs some new blood. And I know people are not paying attention to this election right now because, of course, we have to get through the midterms and all of those things. But there's two candidates. One who hasn't announced that she will be running as of yet, but I think that she will run. And then we have another candidate who's already announced, and I have clips from both of them. I want you guys to watch both of their clips, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit on the other side.
Only minority destroying America is the billionaires. Trans people are 1% of the population. Muslims are 1% of the population. Undocumented people are 1% of the population. We are focused on the wrong 1%. Trans people aren't taking away our health care. Muslims aren't defunding our schools. Immigrants aren't cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It's the billionaires and their puppet politicians. The culture wars are a smokescreen.
Well, last night, Senator Cornyn was nowhere to be found when they were voting on this. He was probably like overcooking his brisket somewhere. And you hinted that if you were in the Senate, though, we wouldn't have seen you fold. And I've heard that an announcement can be coming on December 8th. How seriously are you considering this run?
We're very serious. A lot of people don't believe in Texas, and I understand why. It's been over 30 years. And we would have to run a different race. I would absolutely be a different candidate. And so we've got to analyze this a little differently. I have pulled together an amazing team to really see if we can do what I think we can do. And then I'm taking advice from people that have run way bigger races than this. And so ultimately I need as much time as I can get. But I anticipate that I will know the week of Thanksgiving what I'm doing. No one else will know until December 8th, but I will know. I've given myself until the week of Thanksgiving.
Well, now you know I'm going to be calling you next week.
Okay, so you guys seen those clips. I think that's going to be the matchup. I think it's going to be Jasmine Crockett. And you guys know I love Jasmine Crockett, but I think it's going to be Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about both. James Tellerico was, he's a deeply religious person. He worked in a state house. He was a state representative for Texas. He's a great politician. He's very smart. He's very compassionate. Like I said, he's deeply religious. He talked about the 1%. So we know that he's in favor of taxing billionaires, which I think is extremely important. And then we have Jasmine Crockett, my fave. We know that she's intelligent. She's very smart. She's a lawyer. She's been doing phenomenal work in the House. She's definitely a great messenger. I think both of these candidates will be phenomenal candidates, but we only have one slot. Because remember, if they run against for the Democratic primary and they face off against John Cornyn, which I believe he's already announced that he will be running for re-election. And so one of these candidates, either James Tellerico or Jasmine Crockett, in my opinion, this is just my guesstimation. This is just me watching everything, and this is what I believe is going to happen. I believe we're going to either have Jasmine Crockett against John Cornyn, or we're going to have James Tellerico against John Cornyn. I think Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico are both phenomenal candidates. I think they will do extremely well for Texas. They're younger. They are not basically people who are just in the Senate, not really being productive, not really fighting or advocating or doing anything for their constituents. They're just there because they've been there for forever. And people, and you know what I'm starting to realize? I think people vote based off of familiarity. It's like, that's the person I know, that's the person I'm comfortable with, that's the person that's always been there, so I'm just gonna vote for that person. And I think it's time for us, for all of us on each side, to vote differently. If the person is not serving you, if the person is not doing what's best and for your particular district or your state, if the person is not being a benefit to your state, it's time for them to go. Because we know that politicians at this point, they're just there pointlessly. Like, they're not doing anything for the American people. This particular Congress has basically been a rubber stamp for Donald Trump. They're not serving their people. They're not serving their districts. They're not serving their constituents. They're doing whatever the president wants them to do. And what we always have to be reminded of is that Congress is a co-equal branch of government. They do not work for Donald Trump. They are not Donald Trump's little minions. They're not supposed to be. They're not Donald Trump's secretaries. They're not his coffee boys. They are a co-equal branch of government. And they are not behaving that way. So it's time for a lot of them to go. And in my opinion, John Cornyn, he's up next. Chuck Schumer, he needs to go too. They need to go retire, go be with your family, go be with your grandkids, go take your wife on a vacation, because we need some new blood, and we need people to understand that it's imperative that you serve your constituents, not people in Washington. Furthermore, we absolutely need term limits. These people, John Cornyn, I just told you guys, he's been in office for 23 years. 23 years. There needs to be term limits. Like, these people get these very cushy jobs with the phenomenal insurance and benefits, and they just stay, even when they're not being productive, even when they're not serving the American people. And so I believe this matchup, if it's James Tellerico against John Cornyn, I think James will take it. I think Americans in general, like right, left, middle, whatever, I think they're sick of the same old, same old. And John Cornyn has been the same old for 23 years. So if it's Jasmine Crockett, of course I will be elated. I love her. If it's James Tellerico, I will be happy as well, because he's the real deal. He really is. And so I think it's time for Texas to get some new blood. I think these two candidates is probably going to be one of the Democratic candidates for, you know, that Senate seat in Texas. And I think it's time for, like I said, I think it's time for some new blood. So you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and have a phenomenal day. Bye, y'all.